Hello everybody and welcome to Nathan on Shuffle and to a special discussion episode. This is kind of, maybe you could call it a rant or kind of an off-the-cuff video of me just kind of talking off the top of my head about a subject I've been thinking about a lot lately. I'm going to experiment with a few of these kinds of videos to see how you guys feel about it. Just trying to be as personal and talking about me and what I do in my life. And I think there's some of you out there that would appreciate that and would be interested in some of these topics. And of course, giving your opinions and your thoughts about what you do in the comments. So today I just want to do a general topic about music listening habits, music collection habits, how you consume music and experience it for yourself, and maybe some of the pitfalls that I come across, some of the things that I really have been liking lately. I've kind of been reframing my whole method of music discovery and listening and collecting for various factors. I'm kind of trying to simplify my life in general. You know, I feel sometimes that there's just so much out there, so much that's trying to grab your attention out in the world. You know, I'm trying to get away from being on my phone too much and going to all these social media apps and doing all these things that I feel like are wasting my time and taking me away from the stuff that really is meaningful and impactful in my life. And I think my music habits are following suit. I'm trying to really refine my tastes and focus more in on the music that I really love and enjoy, and trying to change my listening habits and my collecting habits to kind of service that need that I've been having lately. Because when I started this channel, I felt an obligation to try to listen to everything. You know, that's kind of my job here, is to listen to all the prog albums that come out, to try to distill them into the ones that I think are worth recommending to you guys, so you can go out and find the best prog that exists today and not have to wade through those waters of just the hundreds upon hundreds of new releases that come out in the genre. But it's kind of hard on me sometimes because I feel like I spend a lot of time sampling things, listening to stuff that's not totally grabbing me, but feeling an obligation to listen to it. And it takes me away from being able to fully embrace and listen to the album that actually means something to me, that I actually actively want to listen to and enjoy listening to. So I want to change the balance of that. I'll never totally go away from that musical discovery thing that I really always am trying to look for the new best thing in progressive rock or related genres, something that will really spark my ear and will become one of my new favorite bands or new favorite albums. So I never want that to completely go away, but I want to shift my focus just slightly towards re-listening and rediscovering and just falling in love again with the records that I've already fallen in love with, that I already have in my collection, that I really have neglected and haven't spent a lot of time with. So that's really how I'm kind of thinking of things. And I'm worried that it might mean less reviews on the channel, which is one of the things I really love doing. But I think my new perspective and kind of a new direction for the channel, just slightly, is to just do long form reviews on those specific albums that mean a lot to me, either because they're bands that are established that I already love and that I want to give my takes on, or that I know that a lot of my fans like these bands and I want to talk about the newest Yes album, the newest Jethro Tull album, that kind of thing. You know, I want to still be in the conversation for those types of big releases. But when it comes to these more lesser known things that I find, these hidden albums, you know, lurking through these hidden crevices of the internet and Bandcamp and so forth to try to find the best new thing, I'm probably going to relegate those more obscure artists and albums to a monthly roundup show where I talk about maybe 5 or 6 kind of standout releases per month, and do it in more of a short form, because I think people enjoy that more as watchers of this channel. I think it's hard to click on a video that's 15 minutes long about a band you've never heard of before. But if it's a video that's 5 or 6 new recommendations that you very much may like, and they're only 3-minute or so descriptions of those albums, I think that's a lot more interesting to more people to discover more music. And I don't want the bands that bring their albums to my attention to be disappointed in that, oh, we're not going to get a full album review by giving you our album. I think it actually reaches more people if it's in that roundup style. I think more people end up watching those videos and discovering new things. When I put a singular review on something, oftentimes it just gets missed and just falls by the wayside and doesn't really get much attention at all. So it's kind of a trade-off, and I'm still not sure exactly how that balance is going to work. Like I said, if it's the biggest new Neil Morse release, I'm going to do a full-length review about it because I'm a mega fan and I have a lot to say about those releases. If it's something that just blows me out of the water and is in true contention of being one of my all-time favorite albums, of course I'm going to talk about it in a longer form review. If I'm just talking about those more obscure releases that I think are worth pointing out and bringing your attention towards, but I don't know if it's worth a big extended review, which takes a lot of effort and work on my part to put together, and sometimes feels like a lot of wasted effort because barely anyone watches it. So it's something I've just been thinking about. And so maybe beyond just being a rant about my music habits, this is more kind of an explanation of what you might expect on the channel moving forward. But this is all related to just me wanting to spend more time just listening to the music that actually grabs me and that I actually love, because I feel like I'm starting to lose a little bit of my passion for listening to music, because it just feels like whenever I block out time to listen to music, I'm just scrolling through Apple Music for the next best thing and listening to a track here, track there, and I'm just not really fully immersing myself in the experience like I used to when I really focused in on like the few really incredible albums from the year and would re-listen to them over and over again and digest them and spend a lot of time with them. Back in my college days, I'd have an album in my CD player for months at a time and would just listen to it over and over again as I drove, and I'd put it on my iPod as I walked from class to class, and I'd re-listen. I listened to like Fido's Doomsday Afternoon like over and over for like 2 months straight. I did that with the Flower King, Some of No Evil, you know, It Bites, the Tall Ships. Just these albums really mattered to me, and I played them over and over, and I was just obsessed with them. And I don't do that anymore. I listen to an album, 4 or 5 times or so or something, mostly because I'm trying to review it and I'm writing notes and I'm trying to think about what I'd say on the channel, and then I just move on to the next thing and don't grab that album anymore. And it's a shame. I want to listen to those things more often. So that's how I'm refining my taste. And another side of this is I feel like streaming has kind of made music less important in some fashion. Like, because everything's at your fingertips on your streaming app of choice. For me, I use Apple Music quite exclusively, but I do have a Spotify account on the side as well. And I know a lot of people like Spotify instead. But I've just found when I spend a lot of time just searching new albums, and, it's kind of this bizarre thing where you'd think you'd listen to more music because you have so much more access to all this music. But it's when you have so much decisions of what to listen to and so many options, I get paralyzed, honestly, of what I should listen to because there's so many things that I could choose. I just can never decide how to do it. And that's still something I face now, is deciding what to actually listen to. There's so many options, so many different things I could do. And anytime I start an album and start listening to it, in the back of my head, I'm thinking, yeah, but would it be better if I was listening to this other album? Instead of just fully diving in and enjoying the experience, that's kind of unfortunate. And I think in a lot of ways, streaming has kind of brought this style of music listening, of just small pieces of music, listening here and there, more of a casual style, and not really spending as much time just immersed in a full album and just deciding this is what I'm going to be listening to for this chunk of time, and I'm going to just sit and absorb it and experience it. Instead, you put on playlists and you go do the dishes, go drive over here and just listen to this music in the background. And it's kind of something I'm trying to go back to, is just really immersing myself in the albums I truly love and experiencing that music in an important way. That kind of will hopefully revitalize my love for listening to music that I have such a passion for, but I feel like it's been diminishing over time a little bit, which is really sad and unfortunate. It's kind of like, streaming is kind of like the Netflix, where instead of actually watching anything on Netflix, you're just scrolling through, oh, that's a cool show, that's a cool movie, that'd be interesting to watch one day, but you're never actually watching anything, you just keep creating more of a watch list and never actually play those things and watch them. So it's kind of the same thing for me with music. I'm putting things into playlists. I have a playlist called New Music Discovery where I throw albums in that I'm kind of interested in and want to check out, and that list just grows and grows, and I just never have time to actually sit down and check out those albums, which is kind of unfortunate. My time to listen to music is unfortunately kind of limited, so I got to really make just good decisions when I do have time to listen to music. So I'm trying to do that more so, and it's a hard process. I don't quite know how to do it yet, but I've been kind of experimenting with different things, with trying to go a little bit away from streaming a little bit. I bought what you might call a DAP, a digital audio player, kind of like, an iPod or an old MP3 player, because I thought it might be more interesting. Instead of having this stuff on my streaming app and on my phone, and whenever I listen to music, I'm scrolling Facebook, I'm, playing a game on my app or whatever, I thought it might be cool to have a devoted player that just plays music, and to put my phone aside, turn it off, put away the distractions and the notifications, and just play this digital audio player and just listen to the music. Because I do like digital audio. I do like buying digital downloads, going to Bandcamp and buying digital releases. I do have a lot of CDs as well. I do have a lot of vinyl as well. So I have what I call my listening loft in my house, where I have a CD player, I have a vinyl, a record player, and I also have this DAP, which holds all of my digital files to play music digitally. And my hope is that with this setup, I could just lay back in my loft and just listen to full albums, listen to things that are actually in my collection that I actually own physically, and let the whole music wash over me. Don't grab my phone, don't go do other things, start doing chores and cleaning the house and whatever else. Just sit and let the music wash over me and really enjoy it for what it is, because I need to reconnect with music. I feel like the fun of the hobby is slipping away from me because there's so much to consume. There's so much media, and there's so many things vying for my attention that I don't really give music the time it deserves, the time and attention. So those are some of the things I've been thinking about. I've also been refining my setup. Like I said, that loft setup, trying to, I've experimented with several different things. Some things have worked, some things haven't. But I feel like I have a pretty good setup now. I don't have the best speakers in the world, honestly, but they are passable for what I need from them. I have pretty decent headphones that I think work well for this purpose. And I do still, I'm not saying you should get rid of all your streaming apps and stuff. I actually think there's a time and place for a streaming app. Of course, there's a lot of, reasons to not like streaming outside of the format, because they don't pay artists fairly, because some of the people behind these streaming apps are maybe not the most decent human beings, and you feel a little icky kind of supporting these nefarious characters. But for me, I don't think I should just totally get rid of streaming. I think it helps me, especially for this channel. It's a vital resource to find new albums to talk about on the channel and to tell you guys about. And I do like to listen to Apple Music when I'm on the go and not in that loft area where I can just sit back and listen to an album. It's super convenient when I'm on vacation, when I'm traveling, when I'm in the car, when I'm at work. I do like a daily walk at work, and being able to put my headphones on and just listen to music while I'm walking around is vital, and I think that's the best way to do it, is Apple Music. But I very specifically curated a very specific library of my own collection in there, which I'm pretty happy about. So, and I'm trying to lessen, at the same token, I'm trying to enjoy the collection I already have, and I'm trying to not buy as much physical media. And I'm going to be doing a vinyl haul episode, which is going to totally go against what I'm saying here, but I really want to buy less vinyl. I want to buy less CDs, less downloads, and really buy the things that are really important to me and matter, and really spend my time with that stuff. And it'll help me with my budget, but it'll also help me really appreciate the things that I do actually decide to purchase and add to my collection. And I probably will continue to buy a lot of stuff, and I always have this goal of trying to cut back on my vinyl purchases and stuff, and then I always have a huge stack of vinyl that I've recently bought. But that's kind of my hope, is to reserve vinyl to only the most special of records. And I think I'm going to be more inclined to buy digital downloads, to, maybe buy a CD if it's reasonably priced. And a lot of times it's okay to just stream it if that's really the best way to listen to it as well. But I'm trying to decide what's worthy of purchase and what's okay to just stream once in a while. And for me, ownership is important of the things that really matter to me. I always think in my head when I'm deciding should I buy this or not, is if this music suddenly, I lost all access to being able to listen to this album, would I be devastated? Or would it be well, I've heard it enough, it's not too big of a deal? And if I would be devastated, I truly love Neil Morse and his whole catalog. If I lost those access to those albums, I'd be devastated, and I would really have a hard time dealing with that. So I have to have those physically, so that it's kind of like a true backup in case these albums are taken away from streaming or altered in some fashion. It's just comforting to know that I own this music and that I'll have it till I die, and unless it gets corrupted or corroded, or I lose it in some fashion, it just goes missing. But I don't know, it just feels more secure to have my own physical copy. And I feel like my collection is kind of a reflection of me and my taste. It's kind of like my curated art collection that explains my life. I have memories associated with all of these albums, and I think it's well worth it to have a collection that has so much nostalgia and means a lot to me, and that I'll love as I age and am getting older in years. That'll be a fun collection to continue to draw from, to continue to enjoy and have memories with. So that's kind of my rant. I've kind of gone over the time frame I wanted to go, but that's just kind of my rambling thoughts about music collection, listening to music, trying to regain a little bit of a love of music that I feel like is slipping away a little bit from me. And hopefully it doesn't impact the channel too much, but I'm going to try to stay focused on the stuff I truly love, which I think the more passionate I am about music, the better it is for the channel. So that's my hope moving forward. So thank you guys for joining me. Be curious to hear your thoughts in the comments. Let me know how you think about these videos, if they're just a rambling mess, or if you actually enjoy kind of my pure, unfiltered thoughts on camera. So thank you guys, and I'll hopefully catch you guys in a future episode. Bye everybody, enjoy the music!